What's up everybody, Extra Million here once again with Totally Sick Resident Evil Edition, and in this third episode we will be fighting the very first boss that we have to kill now that we have all of the death masks that we need. So we'll run back outside and head towards the graveyard. This is one of the first times, like I mentioned in the very first video, that I will be removing all of the sound except the commentary and the background noise, because this area has quite a bit of slowdown in it. Once you put all of the masks in their proper positions, and then go inspect the coffin, you will be locked into this area. This boss is actually the prototype of the Crimson Head zombies. I mentioned the Crimson Heads were stronger and faster zombies. This one is even more powerful than the regular ones that can become them. He was infected with the regular T-virus, but a mutation altered him and made him so violently dangerous that they sealed him in a coffin and buried him in this graveyard. Fortunately, he has a very simple AI attack pattern that you can exploit. He has only two real moves. One is a lunging swipe, and the other one is a grab, where he will lunge at you and bite you. When you do stab at him, you'll want to do the downward swipe, because it has the largest forward hitbox. Obviously, if he grabs you, try to, mash all the buttons and waggle the control stick as fast as possible so that you take the least amount of damage. The basic gist of this strategy, as you can see, is to basically either run around in a circle or run towards him at a diagonal angle so that he's forced to swipe or grab and then miss. If possible, try to get him to begin his attacking animation when he is near a wall. That way, he will not completely overshoot you, because he will basically run into the wall instead of running forward like he did there, where I completely missed him. That will enable him to stay within your range. So as you can see, this fight's not too tough, as long as you don't get impatient and try to speed it up. This is definitely not a fight that you can rush. If you rush, you will get hit, which is why I brought a healing item with me just in case. Now, if you were playing this game normally, besides your handgun and your shotgun and all the other various weapons that you could have, one of the easiest ways to actually win this battle, if you're Chris, is if you have one of the flash grenades, which is the defensive items. You can just let him grab you, and you'll put a flash grenade in his mouth, and after a few seconds it will blow up and kill him instantly. So there you go, he is now dead, and we can search the coffin for the item that we need, which is the umbrella emblem. This will allow us to get outside the mansion. The first area outside the mansion that we'll visit is actually a completely new area for this remake. It's sort of a forested area with a secondary graveyard and like a little shack that a grotesquely deformed woman hangs out in. She is a new canonized retconned character added into this game. Her name is Lisa Trevor. She is the daughter of George Trevor, who is the guy who actually designed and built the Spencer estate. For some reason, she seems to have a natural immunity to all of the viruses that Umbrella has tried to inject her with, making her a perfect guinea pig. The first virus that they used on her was the progenitor virus, which actually you learn about its backstory in Resident Evil 5 because it was found in Africa. So a lot of their testing on Lisa rendered her pretty much immune to all other viruses and to most physical damage, making her just about as tough as Wesker is in the later games. She was also injected with the NE alpha virus, which is the more intelligent strain of the T virus. It's the one that they used to create the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. And the work on her also produced the G virus, which is the virus that William Birkin used in Resident Evil 2. The main reason that we're headed all the way out here is to go to Lisa's cabin, where she hangs out, because she has a item that we need, the square crank. In the few times that you encounter her during the game, you can't kill her, so don't even bother. So that was her. She knocks Chris out and then waits for him to wake up to try to attack him again. Once this cutscene ends, you'll basically want to walk forward one step and then back up, which will bait her into swinging at you. Her moves are incredibly powerful. One hit will pretty much take you down to either yellow caution or orange-red caution, which is about 75% of your health gone. If you hadn't noticed earlier, the lower your health is... Oh yeah, watch out for that zombie that has now spawned there, who was standing completely still, so I'm sure many a person has actually run directly into him. But your different health states will cause your character to hold their side or limp slightly, which obviously affects your running speed. It's most noticeable when you're trying to go up and down stairs. Now that we have the crank, we can proceed on to the actual area that you head to in the original Resident Evil. First, we'll avoid these zombie dogs real quick. Since this area is flooded, we have to use the crank and open the dam so that the water gets out of the hole that it's in, so we can cross it. The place that this path is taking us will eventually lead us to the dormitory, which is where all of Umbrella's scientists and guards would hang out. once we arrive in the dormitory, we will save our game so that we don't have to do any of that again. The main purpose of the dormitory is to gain access to the final specialized mansion key, which will allow us to open the last locked areas in the mansion. To do that, we will have to fight the boss of this area, which is Plant 42. Plant 42 is the enemy that you would use a V-Jolt on to either weaken it or outright kill it, depending on which character you're playing as. It's also the first appearance of the web spinners, which are these giant spiders, which, according to the square cubed law in physics, should not exist. They also shouldn't exist because, contrary to prehistoric times, bugs back then were able to be larger because Earth's atmosphere contained far more oxygen than it does now, so these guys would most likely either suffocate or collapse under their own weight entirely. As you can see, every time you run through that little area, Plant 42's one of its tentacles will try to grab you, and it does minimal damage. It does about as much as the dogs attacking you. If you also hadn't noticed, Resident Evil is largely a survival horror puzzle game. It's also much harder than the very first Resident Evil. The remake is way more difficult. Enemy health is usually randomized, so zombies can take anywhere from 5 to 12 gunshots. But usually the good rule of thumb is that if you ever come across 2 doors, the closest door to you will be locked, and the key for that door will be in the farther away one. To get access to the room that contains Plant 42, we first have to go down into a subsection of the basement called the Aqua Ring, which is probably the only part of this game that actually gets my heart racing, just because it contains a lot of deep water. In order to cross over this little area, you have to push these boxes so that you can walk across them. So please bear with me as I push boxes for the next minute or so. Truly the hypest gameplay on YouTube. So this next area coming up is where you would meet up with Richard if you were Chris, and you actually saved him. He will save Chris from being attacked by a giant shark, and then he will drop his assault shotgun in the water. And then later, once you drain the water in the Aqua Ring, you can pick up his shotgun and use it yourself. Once you get down into this area, the sharks, also called Neptunes, will start attacking you, and you'll have to do like a little puzzle so that the pressure in the room doesn't crack the windows, and so that you can close the blast shutters.
Source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety. Reaching 30% of pressure threshold. Reaching 50% of pressure threshold. Activate emergency drainage system immediately.
So once the shutters come down, then you can press the button to Chris's right, and that will drain all of the water in the area, which will obviously strand the sharks. Then you can make your way down to the bottom of the Aqua Ring and grab the key that you need. Unfortunately, the key is being guarded by the Mother Neptune, the big one there. Now, it knocks the key into the water, and you can actually run around it and avoid it and try to get the key yourself, but screw that, we're just going to do it the easy way. So now that we have the key, we can make our way all the way back up to the main dormitory. Since the water is now drained of this area, we can't go back the way we came with the boxes, since the boxes are now obviously down here. So we'll take this little shortcut back up here that was previously underwater. This area, if you linger too long, you will get attacked by these giant hornets or bees or whatever they are. Basically, take the pesticide spray or insecticide from that body. That room that we just passed is where you would concoct V-Jolt if you were going to use it. So then use the sprayer and kill all of the bugs. This allows us to grab the key that's just under the hive, and then go fight Plant 42. But before we do that, we will save, and then fight him in the next video. So we'll run back and open our item box. And collect all of our healing items. Yes, all of them, because you will need them. Plant 42 is definitely the toughest enemy we'll have faced. And then we'll save, and then I will see you guys next time.